we go. There we go.
Head on arrival. Head on arrival.
Hi, and welcome to another episode of DOA Dorward Outdoor Adventures. Today, it's early in the morning. I'm here in Edmonton. I'm in the truck. I have all my fishing gear packed up, and of course the Oilers jersey because it's Game 7 for the Stanley Cup Finals against the Florida Panthers tonight. I have a long road trip ahead of me, so I have some elk calls to kill the time and practice on the way, and I am actually heading out to Besnard Lake, which is an 8-hour drive away from here. I am going to be meeting up with my good friend and former boss, Steve, and him and I are going to be fishing for walleye, pike on a gorgeous trophy fishing lake up there in Northern Saskatchewan. I've seen pictures of this place. It looks fantastic. It's nice and clear, open, the scenery, the wildlife is immense, and I can't wait to get up there. So with my 8-hour drive ahead of me, I will take you through any adventures that happen, and I can't wait to get on the lake and share the fishing stories with you right here on DOA Dorward Outdoor Adventures. So this is a pretty cool highway that I'm on right now. I'm basically traveling the Alberta and Saskatchewan border, where the Alberta side is on the left side of the highway and the Saskatchewan side is on the right-hand side of the highway. So still have about 5 more hours to go. It's beautiful looking at the countryside, and some windshield time is always a good thing for me. Well, it's pretty easy to tell that I'm in Saskatchewan. 2 ways to tell. By the wind that you can probably hear in the camera, and by the sign that welcomes you. Land of the living skies. Welcome to Saskatchewan. Well, I've now run out of pavement and onto the sand and gravel road. So it's a little bit of a soft road. I have had some rain off and on for the last hour or so. Some dark clouds rolling in behind me. I don't think I'm gonna make up any time on this road, but last stop for gas for me was about 150 kilometers away, and I was aware that there was no services near the end of this trip, but I do have a 20-liter jerry can of fuel with me should I need it. I'm hoping I won't, and like they say, getting there is half the adventure, right? Never hurts to be prepared. I'm gonna take my time. I have everything that I need with me in hopes that I get to the lodge safe and sound and can get on the lake if this weather cooperates. Well, we've made it out to the fishing lodge, the Stinky Beaver Lodge, and we'll get into that a little bit later. As you can tell, wearing my Oilers jersey with my lucky hat because they seem to do well when I wear this gear all together. So game is in a couple hours. Steve and I are going to hit the lake really quick here, get a couple lines in the water to see what we have, go back in, watch the game, cheer on the Oilers. Steve's a Leafs fan, but he said he'd cheer for the Oilers tonight. And then I'll give you a tour of the cabin and hopefully some fishing action. Stay tuned. You're hanging out with DOA Dorward Outdoor Adventures. Trolling back and forth along this little riverbank, lake bank I should say. And Steve's got the first fish of the night.
Nice healthy little pike.
Nicely done. Steve's up 2-0, and the amount of line that's out on that rod is what that fish hit on as we're turning around. Steve's up 3-0, and the first walleye of the night. Getting my ass kicked here, aren't I?
20 minutes.
So I think Steve has this planned out. He's like, here, you should use this hook. They bite on this hook all the time. So that's the hook I'm using. And he's using something else, and he's caught 3 fish, so.
Tell you what, I'll give you the same one.
So I put on my own hook, and I got one. Steve was lying to me.
Nice little walleye. Be lunch tomorrow, the next one.
And I'm on the board in Northern Saskatchewan. Hey! Let's use our fancy tool.
And here's our friend.
All right, we're trolling around the island. And I'm on to my third fish of the night. Need a net for this guy.
So we should save for the trout or the eagle.
A little pike. And we're catching fish. Well, as these storm clouds roll in, the thunder is rolling with them. So we're off the lake. I think we'll get ready for the hockey game.
Got to know where the threats are when you're viewing where the puck is from behind, and watch his eyes here. He's got bodies in front of him, but clear that Montour isn't trying to...
Well, it's the morning of our second day here, and Big Oilers' loss last night isn't going to dampen our spirits on fishing this morning. So an overcast day. It feels pretty cool out here today, but Steve has assured me that when it's overcast, that's when the walleye bite. So we're going to troll up and down the one side of this lake here and see what kind of fish we can get into. And that didn't take very long, 5 minutes in, and I have something on the line. Feels like a small pike.
I said they're pickerel.
Oh, there we go. There we go. Oh, I saw the flash of a tail. Playing with it. Nice little pike. So I've been having luck with these fake rubber jig fish. This one's like a rainbow trout here. I've also used more of this little orange and black perch. We're gonna change it up a little bit. Just go to a single hook on a yellow and orange jig. Those other hooks are nice, but with a single hook on top and a treble hook on the bottom, that last jack, that bit, was in there pretty good and harder to get out. So gonna go with a simpler design and see what I can get onto. With it being my first time fishing in Saskatchewan, I wasn't expecting to see rock formation like this right on the lake. I was expecting, you know, some sand, maybe some trees, but definitely wasn't thinking it was gonna feel kind of mountainous to me, but surprised and impressed with the lake that we're on today. Again, it's Besnard Lake up in Northern Saskatchewan. There's a small campground on here, there's a fishing lodge, and a couple private cabins, so great to be up here, and excited to spend another day and a half out here on the water. Steve, do you want to drop the anchor here or no?
Nope, we're gonna go right along the shoreline. It's a nice sandy beach area here. We got pickerel hanging off the edge here. We'll go around to the rocks, and then you're gonna pick up some pike at that point. There you go.
That's the quick and easy release.
Yep, absolutely.
still waiting for those overcast pickerel days, Steve. It's been all pike today.
Well, we start the tourists off on the small pike
The
first.
small ones.
Yes.
And then I graduate.
You'll graduate soon. Not yet. Grasshopper.
See, buddy? We're catching fish. So this was my first time ever fishing outside of Alberta, and I've never hunted outside of Alberta, but in order to get my Saskatchewan fishing license this time around, it was actually really easy. I jumped online, and very similar to an Alberta Realm account, I had to go in and create an HAL account that gives me my unique number that was free of charge, and once I had that unique number, I was able to go ahead and sign up for a Saskatchewan fishing license. They had 3 different options available. They had a yearly pass, they had a 3-day consecutive pass, and they had a single-day pass. So for the 3 days that I'm out here, that was the option that worked best for me. $46, small price to pay, and quick and easy. Within a matter of 5 minutes, I had my registration, my license done, and legal to fish. So we've just finished supper here, and Steve, I gotta say to you, thank you very much for having me out today. Steve's done all the cooking, all the cleaning. Actually, I scrubbed a pan or two. He's taken me around. He has shown me this lake. I'm kind of worried that we are going to get lost in all the nooks and crannies out here, but he knows this lake like the back of his hand. He's taken me to all the hot spots. So thank you very much, first of all. But how did you figure out what you're doing out here?
A lot of years on the lake, a lot of years fishing. I sort of take pride in learning, and I like to pass that learning on to others. And you know, over the years, it's I've been proud. I take my friends out and what they become. A good friend of mine, Dan Connor. I've taken my time over the years and taught him what I know, and he's developed into something that resembles, I would say, a good guide, and it allowed him to buy this place here and feel comfortable being on his own. So again, you learn, you pass it on, and hopefully others will learn from them as well. And as I said, Dan is I'll say one of my closest friends, and I'm proud for what I've taught him.
For sure. No, and I think that's an important piece to share, and it's how you build memories, right? I always say it's how you fill your cup, and I know spending the time out here this last couple of days with you, we've talked about many work stories over the last years, where we've become and what we've gone to, and it's definitely been great reconnecting with you on the open water, and again, I'm so thankful to have, for you, having me out here with you these last couple of days.
You're more than welcome anytime you want to come out here.
You bet. The evening fish. First cast, Steve. We have a walleye in the boat for today. Probably about a dozen pike between the two of us today. I'll admit I caught more, but Steve was the one doing the boating and the driving and the navigating.
See what a walleye looks like?
Is that what a walleye looks like?
That's what a walleye looks like.
Fighting like a pike. A little skinny pike.
Nice healthy pike.
My fingers, you almost cut.
I got one. Perch.
A perch?
Perch. Nice size perch. Eating one too.
Really?
Yep.
My line is way out there.
Ah. Pike or pickerel?
It's a pike.
Oh, nice.
straight through the lip. Yay, a pike. The one thing I forgot to mention when this episode first started in the very beginning of the trip, that there's no roads that lead to this cabin. There is a parking spot at a campground with a boat launch that is about 12 miles away, and had to load everything onto the boat in order to get out here. So same thing with the way back, load everything out onto the boat and make our way back to the boat launch so I can proceed on my trip home. But on the way there, we're gonna, of course, wet a few lines and see if we can get on to a couple last fish of this trip. So I thought Steve was full of beans out here when he said he could call the eagles and he's friends with them. And he's actually named them. There's two of them that hang out here, Bert and Ernie. And every time we've driven by this spot, he just yells out his famous Ernie! And within seconds, this eagle comes out. And he's perched up here.
Looking at the fish that I got.
Looking at the fish that Steve has caught while I'm busy doing commentary.
Pickerel.
And Ernie hangs out here, and he comes to Steve's call. And he waits for fish.
Nice pickerel, like walleye.
Nicely done. Let's bring it out.
Nice big walleye. Nice walleye. That's a big walleye.
You got him twice. Both hooks in. I'll grab the net here.
That's a beautiful walleye.
In the bag, or the net, as they say. Well, that pretty much wraps up my 3-day fishing adventure up here in Northern Saskatchewan. I want to send a special thanks out to my former boss and friend, Steve, who's invited me out here for the last couple years, and finally we're able to make it happen. But I also wanted to thank him on another level too. So he's put me in touch with a great group of people from Access Employment that are going to help me with a whole bunch of strategies in hopes to improve my channel, improve the growth, and give everybody in my audience a greater perspective of what I do and something better to offer. So Steve, just want to say thank you very much for having me out. Thanks for having the connection to the Access Employment Group, and I can't wait to get out here and do it again if you let me.
Next year.
I don't know if he's going to let me. I caught more fish than him these last few days, but
Would you like to see the film?
I think he's done better than me today. But guess what? I'll be back out here again, and I will catch more fish than him next time right here on DOA Dorward Outdoor Adventures.
Yeah.